Okay, so my name is Kyriakos, and I'm a failure. At least that's what I felt back in 2003. I was still back in Greece, and everything was failing in my life. I've lost my house. I've lost my girlfriends. I've lost one of my very good friends. I couldn't get into the university that I wanted to get into. I was fired, from my job. Total disaster. There was no way out for me. Mentally, physically, I was feeling that I'm a total failure. But there's something magical that happens, guys, when you hit rock bottom, when you reach that level, there's something that happens inside of you. You bounce back, you come back, you feel that energy that, all right, I need to do something. I need to do something spectacular. I need to do something more in order to get out of this vicious circle of failing things in my life, not making myself proud. So I've decided one of the things I could do is move out of my country, move away. I thought at that point in time that by moving away, maybe my problems move away as well. So I've called up a friend. He was in the UK at that point in time. His name was Mike. I said, Mike, I want to move over to the UK, mate. Can I come and stay with you for the first couple of months until I find my way through this? He said, yes, go for it, mate. I'm in Brighton. I said, Brighton? Where is Brighton? I've asked the question. And he said, look it up, mate. Go on the web, look up where Brighton. I didn't even know where Brighton was at that point in time. And I looked at Brighton, and I'm not sure if you know or if you heard of it. Back in 2003, there was a massive party at the Brighton Beach, guys, from Fatboy Slim, who's a resident, and he's obviously world famous. He's a resident in the UK and in Brighton, and there was a massive party called the Beach Boutique. So one of the first pictures that came up when I was looking Brighton was this huge party. I'm like, perfect. And there's the party. I'm like, my goodness, this is it. Let's go party in Brighton. I'll definitely forget all my problems. I'll definitely, make a new start, in Brighton, and why not? Go for it. So that was my first motivation coming into Brighton. That huge party, that atmosphere. It was summer, the boats. I thought it was perfect. 6 months afterwards, I've paid all my debts. I've sold all my assets. I had a small scooter, basically. I sold that for 500 euros, I remember. And then off I go to come to Brighton. So I get off the station, the Brighton station, the train station. I get off. It's February, by the way. I get off the train and miserable. There's no sunshine. There's no warm climate. There's nothing. It's just rain and misery. So welcome to your new home. So that was my first impressions of Brighton. Now, the first few months were very, very difficult for me. I was sleeping at the floor of my friend's house, the flat. I needed to do all sorts of jobs. I worked at the chicken counter at Sainsbury's, I remember. I worked for selling double glazing units door to door. So I had to go around and sell that. It was very, very difficult, I have to admit, but I didn't give up. I always had a vision. I had a dream that I'm going to make it. I was 27 at the time, and I wasn't afraid of anything. I was taking risks. I moved away from my country. What else can go wrong? What else can go wrong, right? So that was me arriving in 2004, doing all sorts of things. And then finally, after about 6 months, I was lucky enough, one of my CVs caught the attention of one of the managers at a company, at a tax consultancy company, and then they've sent me an invite for an interview. So that became a job. So that was my first kind of managerial job, and that allow me to, right, I've got a job now, I'm making £1,000. That was the money back then, back in 2004. I'm making £1,000 a month. My flat costs 500 and I'm making 1,000, but it's a start. That gave me the opportunity to go into Barclays Bank at that point in time and say, right, I've got a job, I want a loan. I want to get some money from you guys to study. Because I did believe that through studying and developing yourself, there is a way through it. That's my solution. That's the way to get up in society, you know, in the ladder. So I got some money coming from Barclays Bank. It was £12,000. That was a whole year's pay. £12,000 they gave me. And I went to Brighton University. I've knocked on the door. I said, I want to do a master's degree. I want to do an MBA in particular. So that was in 2004, September. 6 months after I arrived, I wanted to get in and do a master's degree. And I was successful. I was successful in applying, getting onto the program, start doing part-time MBA, master's degree, and full-time work and part-time MBA. Now, the next couple of years, guys, where there's no personal life, there's no fun, it's just me studying and working and studying. But that gave me the opportunity to develop my resilience, become stronger mentally, and just seeing myself going through this process and doing really, really well, it gave me a lot of confidence that I can take over the world. That was the feeling. That was 28 years old at the time, 27 and a half, and I felt, this is it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna dedicate myself into my studies, because my studies will get me through. Obviously, I was working full-time as well, so building my career at the same time as well. There's no shortcuts. You have to do the hard work, whatever that hard work is for you. You don't have to obviously follow my example, but hard work needs to be done in order to get you through, guys. So the next couple of years, I worked really hard. And then one day, 2006, halfway through, I think 2006, I've got my master's degree. I've graduated from Brighton University with an MBA. And guess what? American Express, one of the biggest companies in the world, obviously based in Brighton, came knocking on my door, said, right, actually, we want you to work for us. So all that hard work within a 2 years period, it paid off. I got my job. There we are, University of Brighton, and then American Express. I got my master's degree, my MBA, and now I'm onto the corporate world through American Express. I was over the moon. 2 years coming after I arrived in the country, I got my master's degree, and I'm on my way to becoming a success at the corporate world. But this is not the end. In the meantime, I've married with my wife, so I've started a family life as well. But in 2008, guys, I don't know if you remember, but a huge financial crisis, one of the biggest in our lifetime, the 2008 crash, that saw me losing my job at American Express. I was one of the best performers, by the way. And then corporate world, they don't care to a degree. And then I lost my job in 2008. That was a shock to me. I'm doing so well, on my way to becoming a big success, and then boom, failure, another failure, 2.5 years ago. But I've learned, I'm more resilient now. I've done my master's degree. I start thinking in different ways. So what can I do in order to be able to minimize the dependency that I have from external factors, from jobs such as the one I had with American Express? So I came up with my wife very slowly, very steadily. How about starting a business in the back of our living room at that point in time? So how about starting a business and doing what we could? My wife knew about treatments, massage treatments, and beauty treatments. I was very good at business and marketing, advertisement. I had my brother who was very good at building websites. So we put together all our strengths and we start doing beauty and massage treatments, a little beauty parlor from the back of our living room. And that was one of the ways in order to avoid the dependency that we all had at our jobs, our 9-to-5 jobs. One thing led to another. And then 6 months afterwards, we were so successful, we were so strong, we were doing so well. Don't forget, from within our flat, right? Our landlord found out about the business and he said, right, guys, you can't really run a business from a flat. So he kicked us out. So another failure on the top of our game, doing really well, making money, and then had to leave the flat. And obviously, at that point in time, we're thinking, oh my God, another disaster. But the resilience and the mindset, right, this must be an opportunity as well. So whatever problem you're facing in your life, I'm a huge believer, that it can be turned into an opportunity as well. And that's what we did, right? We lost our premises, we lost our little flat, but let's get on. I mean, we had about 10,000, 12,000 pounds at that point in time from the savings from the business. How about using all that and finding a small commercial premises and start up our business again? And that's what we've done. We start doing our little business. This is the picture from our living room. This is me being stretched out as part of a photo shoot. We were trying to promote our services from the back of our living room. And then that was the Little Jasmine logo back then. We did it pretty much ourselves. So in 2008 and 9, we decided to move outside the flat. Obviously, we were kicked out. And then we find our first small commercial premises on Gardner Street. That was up on the floor. We didn't have a visibility at the ground level, but that was a start. And we started doing really well. Over the next 3 years, guys, we done tremendously well. I was working pretty much full-time in the business, doing reception work, my wife doing the treatments. We've hired a couple of people as well, and we're doing really, really, really well. So in 2012, we decided to upgrade. At that point in time, we put together about 100,000 pounds, everything, all our savings from that little business. And we said, right, let's take another risk. Let's go for it. It seems that the business is doing well. So the only thing that we have to do is just upgrade, upscale. So we went for it. And we've rented a 3-story building in the heart of Brighton. We spent all our money. So if that didn't work out, that would be it. I mean, I had to find a job basically, but it did work out. And that 100,000 did pay off. We built a beautiful place in the heart of in Brighton, and we started doing tremendously well. And from that, we became Little Jasmine Therapies and Spa. Now, the business is celebrating this year 15 years anniversary. And we've opened 3 locations. We're a multi-award winning day spas now in Brighton. We've treated more than 200,000 people. And obviously 3 premises and approximately 35 staff working for us at this point in time. And something that I'm very close to, giving back in the community, which is a huge thing for me. And we've raised thousands of pounds for charity as well. So this is our Little Jasmine Therapies and Spa. But that wasn't enough. Obviously, the success brings dreams and aspirations. I was an MBA graduate. I've done a successful business. So why not do more? So in 2019, we founded Simply Urban, which is a more youthful brand, because we found out through our research that we're not very successful in getting customers between 20 and 30-year-olds. And this is young people. This is young people who leave university, become professionals. They're not making a lot of money in the beginning, but then subsequently they start making more money. So they have more disposable income. So we thought, if we get these guys to become very loyal from a really young age, then we can graduate these people onto the more expensive treatments that Little Jasmine Therapies and Spa is offering. So we built another business called Simply Urban. It's in the lanes. It's more of a youthful beauty salon. And that was in 2019. That was 4 months prior to the lockdown, if you all remember. And then 2019, again, I'm a business student. I'm not in particular, I'm not an expert in any particular industries. I'm a business student, guys. And my MBA allows me that. I love businesses, and I think businesses share a lot of common characteristics across the board. So in 2019, I saw an opportunity in the market. We had the funds, we had a head chef, and said, right, let's kick off and do a restaurant business. My dad used to be a chef, so I was well motivated. I didn't know anything about kitchens. I didn't know anything about cooking. I do cook at home, but I'm not a cook per se. So 2019, 6 months prior to the lockdown, we founded Nostos, which is a modern Greek cuisine restaurant. Hopefully some of you have visited already. It was designed by an award-winning designer, and it was named, has been named as one of the best restaurants in Brighton in various newspapers, and we were recently voted at Kyriakos as the best restaurant in Sussex. But we also champion environmental initiatives. We give money to food education for children, children charities, and the community in general. As I said, for me, giving back in the community is very, very important, and I will explain further along. So this is Nostos, and I was founded in 2019. In 2021, we came against a huge problem. Not in 2021. We've been having this problem for the last 6 years. And the problem was recruitment. After Brexit 2016, we had a huge deficit of very talented individuals coming from Europe to take on jobs. And obviously, we're trying to hire some of the best in the market. Chefs, beauticians, spa therapists, so on and so forth. So we had to find a way. We had to find a way to be able to cover that gap. So we became sponsor businesses. So we are able to bring people from other parts of the world to work for us on contracts. We've developed networks, contacts, in countries such as Thailand, Greece, Italy, Spain. So we're able to work with our collaborators to be able to bring people, talented people into this country. But then, so developing all that gave us an understanding of how the recruitment space is working. And here's a problem, the recruitment problem. How do we solve it? Of course, we can go and collaborate with other parties, but how about doing it ourselves? I know it's not our core business, but I'm smelling an opportunity here. So what we've done is we kicked off a company, The Right People Limited, it's a recruitment company, and it's helping the other businesses identify and recruit some of the best and the brightest from all over the world, including within the UK, of course, as well. So, and we were so successful, we thought, right, if we're doing it for ourselves, how come, why not do it for other companies as well? So what we've done is we are packaging our recruitment services and we're selling that to third parties, to other companies. And that is fairly successful, early days, but this is one of our latest ventures and latest companies that we've set up to help us, the other companies, but also market that into the open market. So The Right People was founded in 2021. It offers sourcing, recruitment of hospitality and spa therapists in the UK and abroad as well. So, so this is The Right People Limited. And then one of the biggest problems that we were facing, again, that whole of, that sort of process of opportunity, problem, opportunity, opportunity, problem, which I think they're the same thing. It's just opposite sides of the coin, a problem and an opportunity. Any problem can be seen as an opportunity. And this is how I think about business and personal life as well. So another problem that we had is that we're bringing all these people from abroad or from other parts of the UK, London, Scotland, whatever. One of the biggest problems that they're facing is finding accommodation, finding somewhere to stay. So we decided in 2020, how about we get in between and we start buying buy-to-let properties and then offer that to our staff. So we solve a big problem for them. We solve a big problem for us as well. It's a business within the business. We offer that at a cost-effective way to them. It's part of the business of the job benefit. So they're happy, they're staying longer, they're more loyal, and we get to hold on to our therapists or chef for much longer than they would normally stay, the averages out there. So we found the problem and we turned it into an opportunity and a solution, and it's working. We are currently housing 30% of our staff into these buy-to-lets that we've invested in, and everyone seems to be happy. Not only that, but we're a better business because of it, and we can compete on better terms in getting talented individuals with other businesses. So this is our housing for our employees business that we've set up fairly recently. So that comes very close to the end of my presentation and my life journey through businesses and through adversities and challenges. So for me, it comes down to 5 key learnings, guys, 5 mindset traits that have helped me do well in life, continue doing well. Life always changes, obviously, so you never know what's coming up tomorrow. But at this stage, I'm very confident in sharing these 5 learnings that have worked for me and my life. So the first one is curiosity. One of these 5 traits: never stop asking questions. It's only through asking questions and being curious about life in general, or business, or whatever, or about yourselves, you're going to be getting answers. And by getting answers, you are finding solutions and asking better questions over time as well that will enable you to get better quality responses, answers about yourself and about what you do in life as well. And that will bring results. Curiosity on its own is not enough. You do need resilience as well. And I've just explained, I went through my life and what I've been through. If I gave up back in Greece, I would never be here. If I gave up when I lost my job at American Express, I would never have started my business. If I gave up and obviously I've been through a very quick summary of my life, but there've been hundreds or thousands of points that I could have just given up. But you do need to build resilience. And resilience is really faith and hope that things will turn, that this is the starting point. A failure is just the starting point of something magnificent further down the line. You need to believe that. If you don't believe that, resilience will not be there for you. The third element for me is consistency. So you might be asking the questions, you might be resilient, but if you don't do the thing that you've identified that is a good thing, I don't know, going to the gym, eating healthy, studying or learning something every day, if you don't have that consistency day in, day out, you will never achieve a lot. You might be super talented, and I've seen it. There's a lot of talented people out there, but it's the people who put the hard work day in and day out that will get the results, guys. And these are the winners. Obviously, if you can put talent and consistency together, sky's the limit, yeah? The fourth element for me is risk-taking. Don't be afraid to take risks. You came into this country one way or another, you have taken a risk already. You moved away from your countries willingly or not, but
Excuse me, it is mute.
You're on the mute. You're on the mute.
We are not
Okay.
risking.
Can you hear me again? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
please.
perfect, excellent. I think someone muted me. Anyway, so risk-taking, guys. So take calculated risk, not crazy risks, calculated risks. That's very important. Find out about, you remember what I said? We took all our money and we put it into that investment. I believed, based on previous performance, based on the market, that this will be a good risk for us. It could have ended up losing all our money, but I would have been happy. At least I took the risk and I saw what happened. And as I said before, failure is just a starting point for something magnificent further down the line. And finally, I think the most important element as individuals, as human beings, it's all about kindness. Kindness starts by loving yourselves. So being kind to yourselves, guys. Life in general is brutal. It's very hard. There's no justice out there. I think we make our own justice. I mean, the universe is indifferent. At least that's what I believe. But you can dispense kindness. You can be kind to yourselves, love yourselves, and then if you start loving yourself, you can start loving the people around you as well, and your community. And obviously, you just have arrived, or you very recently came to the UK, so this is a new community for you. I would suggest that you embrace this community because it has a lot to offer, and you have a lot to offer in the community as well. So I've been working for the last 13, 14 years away from the community. I admit, I didn't think it's necessary for me. I've done all these things and I thought, what's the point of connecting with charities or doing this or telling my story even? I mean, what's the point? There is a point. I've seen other people sharing their stories, for example, and I got motivated. I got inspired by them. And I thought I could do maybe the same thing as well. So being part of this community, sharing your stories, it's vital. So don't be shy. Go out there and talk about your story, guys. This is very important. Connecting with the community, it's key to getting the best results in your life journey. And it's more fun as well. So I want to leave you with one wisdom saying from back home, from the ancient Greeks. And I think for me, it's been very, very important to think of every day. And it's from Archimedes. And he said, give me a place to stand and a lever long enough, and I will move the world. Now, let me explain it to you how I think, how I think about it in my head, how I'm making sense of this. Give me a place to stand. So we're all in the UK. We are in a good place, a place that will listen and will give you opportunities, as it did for me as well. And a lever long enough. Lever, it's whatever you do to enhance yourself, to develop yourselves, education, small learnings, being here tonight, listening to what I have to say. This is, again, building, developing yourselves. So you're creating a lever. And by creating a lever and being at the right place, guys, and having the right motivation and attitude, you can move the world. You can bring miracles. You can do amazing stuff. So, and I believe this. I believe this for everyone. Every human being has the capacity of doing amazing stuff. Just follow the recipe consistently. So this is it. This is my life journey. This is my story. I hope you've learned something from it. And thank you very much for having me today.